Hey there, everybody. I'm Michael the Bolton III here with Kill 2, Master Giggler, and we're presenting Fatal Ascension versus Dark Taboo. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these GIMP setups?
I can't. You go for a second.
Okay, all right. So for the Fatal Ascension team, we have 4 Thoraxes, famous Thorax team, a Curse, a Hurricane, a Curse, another Curse, a Retribution, an Enyo, and Oneros, a Badger Mark II, and an Enyo.
So this is... Oh, you didn't do Dark Taboo. So they brought Cyclones. It's a Minmatar setup without Frigs, basically. They're like 12 points short, or 14 points short. And it really looks like a very normal setup, except that they're missing a few Frigs. So I imagine they'll actually do pretty well here. I think that both teams, without anything to gain in terms of advancing in the tournament, are still probably happy to show up and have a match, but probably don't want to bring anything too expensive. And it's also a nice opportunity to bring something a little bit out of the box, so that kind of explains the Thoraxes. But we're underway now. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually kind of curious to see if the Thoraxes do well against the Minotaur team here, since the Minotaur team really does look pretty normal. You see tracking disruptor effects on the Cyclones, and there was some distance between the teams to start, so it'll take a second before damage starts to stack up here.
We have a very Bob versus Star Fraction-esque shot here. The Thorax is burning across field, about to start duking out with these Cyclones. Do you think that, what purpose does the Badger Mark II serve in this team, do you think, Kill 2?
I have no idea.
Do you think they
Doesn't
just
it have like 5 mids usually?
Yeah, it has a lot of mids.
Probably has a bunch of tracking disruptors and carrying a bunch of cap boosters for all their ships that don't have cap injection. So Cyclone 1 going down for Dark Taboo. Thorax is doing pretty good. You can see he is got probably an XL ASB, and he periodically is boosting back big chunks of shields, but he is going down. Hurricane taking damage for the Fatal Ascension team, but they are armor tanks, so that damage is pretty insignificant so far on the Fatal Ascension side.
Yeah, the Cyclone bouncing around in shields, leaking some structure every now and then when these Thoraxes are properly tracking on it. So do you think that the Dark Taboo team is underpointing just to say that they got more points in this group? Because there's no way they can make it onto the elimination stages. Or do you think that maybe some of their pilots are out for like a late lunch?
I think that they couldn't find enough people to bring to this match, and that's why they have so few people.
But now, do you think that they were busy developing the next Dark Taboo porn movie?
Probably not. At least I hope not.
You hope not?
I don't want to see a Dark Taboo porn movie. Second Cyclone about to die.
Oh.
How about them spaceships, Michael Bolton?
Spaceships are pretty good. Cyclone goes down. Hurricane taking armor damage, but receiving reps. I think that just the fact that they have an actual full pointed setup, Fatal Ascension is probably going to take this match. Even though I feel like they brought Thoraxes as a joke.
I don't think it's a joke, actually. I think this is the kind of thing that probably winds up in tournament forums quite a bit. People say, you know, we can build this setup, and then someone says, well, you know, it's not quite third Cyclone down for Dark Taboo. It's not quite good enough. You know, it's like second tier in everyone's opinion because Thoraxes are a little inefficient point-wise. But I actually think this is a pretty solid setup. I mean, I think if you if someone said you need to build a tournament team right now, do it. It wouldn't be as good as this. I think this team is actually okay. Like, it took some thought. It's just not good enough to field in a real match, and the big advantages it has are that it's sort of creative and that it's cheap, so it's fine for this sort of match and probably not so good for a real match.
What do you think that if you had to like bring this and cross your fingers and hope that you fought something, what would you like to fight?
Fighting a turret-based team with not very many ships seems pretty good.
You can focus that Ewar pretty well from 2 curses.
Focus the tracking disruptors. Don't have trouble tanking. Where, you know, usually if they went against Vindies, the Thoraxes would just get chewed apart because they have low resists and not a lot of slots. But in this match, it's just fine. Almost all the ships down for Dark Taboo now. They're going to lose a Cyclone pretty shortly, and it looks like they've got the Scimitar tackled. So, or the other way around.
We have a sick Badger shot there for you, just to get the high action point of view of a Badger pilot.
So he's got, that's like maybe remote ECCM graphic or a sensor booster. Oh, probably sensor booster for lock range because he can't do tracking disruption from far enough away.
Cyclone about to drop, leaving only a single ASB Sleipnir that was toying with them earlier, letting its shields run all the way down. I don't believe he was on reload. And going to be a solid win for Fatal Ascension. Doesn't help them any because they got dunked last weekend. But they have a good name.
And they got to win with Thoraxes, which not very many teams can say in the tournament. So
bringing Thoraxes is pretty good.
Maybe we'll see them next year. I'll probably see them in their space sometime next week. Thanks a lot for bringing some Thoraxes, I guess, and we'll go back to the studio.